It is Wednesday. It is party time. Welcome to the smooth sounds of the Chad Prather Show right here in the Mothership, which is Studio 22. The Puppet Master Mark, Super Chris Cruz, and Let's Love Brandon at the helm, driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity. I myself did not get into makeup today, so I looked tired. Where's our makeup girl? Chris, where is she? No, not the girl that wears it, the girl that puts it on. Yeah.
Chad, she apologizes for not being here, but her grandma is sick, so she had to bolt real quick.
So she's got to have that kind of excuse.
Yes.
Like I'm supposed to have guilt about her grandmother.
Yes. Now, if you want, for the B-Block segment, you look all nice and pretty. So it's up to you.
I need some mascara.
Okay. Yeah. I'll schedule her in. Speaking
of Sarah Gonzalez, who's been sitting here in the hot seat for the last couple of weeks, talk about a transition. From one Latina to a Latino, she now looks like Jorge Ventura, who's hanging out with us. Welcome to the show.
Chad, it's good to be back, and it's always glad to be back in Dallas. It's becoming one of my favorite cities now.
You'll basbasically be living here pretty soon, because I see your
Honorary
Instagram.
Texan at this point.
I see your gram, and like I'm like you were partying last night. You were out.
Yeah, we're having a good time in Dallas, celebrating the release of our new documentary, Narcofornia. Another investigative documentary. Last year we were here on the show talking about Cartelville, so it's crazy. 1 year later, do the sequel, and we'll finally put that chapter behind us of these illegal marijuanas and focus on some other issues.
I've been keeping up with what you're doing on that. We're going to talk about it some more. But let's go back to the important issues like Instagram. So I've been on a huge shadow ban and stuff like that, and I was dealing with some trolls this morning on Twitter. How do you determine? I went and got coffee a minute ago, and how do you determine who you follow back on Instagram? Is there a criteria on that? Like, do you just follow everybody back, or do they have to meet a requirement? Because I'm going to tell you mine in a minute.
Yeah, so for me, it's two. You either got to be informing me, one.
Yeah.
Or you got to be a really awesome troller. I love trolls on Twitter. So if you're trolling, you're making people mad, I love that. So
does it help if they're a female and they're hot?
I mean, that's bonus points.
I mean, let's add an asterisk to the criteria and say, if a girl's putting no. Seriously, I was sitting there and I was watching. It's like some people put stuff out there that is not just totally useless information. It's not good stuff. But if it entertains me, it informs me, that kind of thing, I will follow it back. And I like to see that they've got more than 3 followers, because that tells me they may not be real people.
Right.
So I don't know. Anyway, I was doing that this morning. I'm encouraging everybody, go follow me on Instagram at WatchChad. The shadow ban is still real. A lot of people have responded after the other day's show, and they said, you're right. Whenever we try to tag you in something, the warning pops up that says, are you sure you want to follow or tag this person because of their repeated violations of sharing misinformation? Now, the problem is you can go down my page, and there's no misinformation. And I just want my Instagram back because I actually enjoy that platform. Like, I enjoy it, right? Facebook has its own nightmares, and of course Twitter's just where I go to piss people off.
Yeah, and Instagram's always up and down, with the shadow bans. They make it so obvious. You go from like 20,000 story views to just like 20 in a week, and it's like, all right, don't make it that obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still love Insta. I'm always still on Twitter. Thank God Twitter doesn't really shadow ban like Instagram, but Instagram they wreck those algorithms like crazy.
So when you go out and you're an independent journalist, you're an independent filmmaker, you're a documentarian, you're doing all these things, you want to get content out there. How difficult is it right now? You come out with again, like you said, a follow-up documentary that's out right now. People can get it at narcofornia.com. How are you getting that information out there with social media being the way it is?
So right now, Chad, I'm actually going through a shadow ban as well. So what makes it hard is as soon as we release a documentary, I've been put on a shadow ban. So the only way it's really helping me promote it is actually just like doing shows with you, having other journalists, friends share it. But it's been tough with the shadow ban. There's no really way around it. The only way around it right now, because Instagram is transitioning to Reels. So if you just upload any video and make it a reel, Instagram would actually push it forward. So that's actually kind of a way that I've been battling back against the shadow ban. But it's extremely difficult because we don't have the corporate funding of like the Fox News and those giant corps to do ads and things like that. Even on YouTube, all the independent media is getting destroyed by the algorithms. Like right now, if you watch like your show on YouTube, I'm supposed to be recommended like Elijah and Sarah on the side, but instead it always links me to a blue check CNN or
Right.
Fox News, one of the big streams. So even YouTube is destroying independent media or anyone that just doesn't follow the kind of corporate messaging.
Yeah, we're screwed overall for a lot of things. I was I mean, why not get screwed? Tomorrow, for those of you who don't know, and who knows what's going to happen when we get off the rails because it's a Thursday episode, so that'll be typical. But tomorrow is our 666th episode of this show.
666.
666 since it's been on Blaze. So we're gonna light some shit on fire. Okay, I'm just saying we may have a cameo from Lucifer himself. We'll see what happens. Come on, man. Come on, man. But somebody, a good friend of mine, Larry Taunton, he pointed that out to me, and I was like, it's going to be lit. So who knows what's going to happen. Nancy Pelosi, let's talk about this for a second. Nancy Pelosi's in Taiwan, or she's somewhere in Asia. She basically gave the middle finger to the Chinese because they said we're gonna retaliate if Nancy comes here. So Smirnoff 1 landed in Taiwan. They immediately took her to an underground bunker. I think that Nancy, people say, why is Nancy even in Taiwan? I think she's there checking on her insider trading investments. I think she's making sure that the superconductor chips and all that stuff gets produced. So who knows what's going on here?
She has some balls, man. She landed in Taiwan with 2 giant bombs. We sent in the Trojan horse, but it's fascinating what's going on right now. I mean, we go to World War III over Nancy Pelosi. That'd be the most 2022
right.
thing in the world.
So yeah, I mean that would be but here's the thing.
It's like the perfect ending on it.
But here's the thing, Jorge. Like China, when they make a promise, they don't back off.
Oh no.
Like these aren't Muslim terrorists who are just out there spitting things out there. China has to save face because that's their deal. They put something out there, they're gonna back it up. Yeah. So these are scary times that we're living in over Nancy Pelosi, who for me, I don't understand why she's there. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why is she in Asia?
She's about to start World War III. We have her husband, doing drugs and driving and crashing and stuff.
So, and for those who don't know, Paul Pelosi, of course, was pretty unstable. Now that information's coming out.
Now we're getting more information. Yeah. So Paul, the Pelosi's are a fun couple.
Paul was on some, it's like I've said about Hunter Biden. You say what you want to say about the guy. The guy knows how to party. Yeah, and apparently the Pelosi's do too. But Paul Pelosi apparently was under some influence of more than just some of that Napa Valley Sonoma wine.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the Pelosi's, they have fun. They're making money. They're starting World War III. It's a fun couple.
But you know about California because you've been making the documentaries about it. What the hell's going on? What's happening in California? Is that where the good drugs are?
Yeah, actually, it is. Yeah, but what's happening in Chad in California is we're seeing it's kind of an underlying story is the failure of the legalization of marijuana. Now, this is not like a reefer madness doc or anything like that. It's just that the proposition set in California, it's actually destroying even the legal weed side. So Prop 64 passes in 2016, legalizes weed, but the illegal cultivation got knocked down from used to be a misdemeanor in our state to a felony. So you and I, Chad, had a 50,000 illegal marijuana operation in Southern California, and we got raided by LA County. You and me would only get hit with a $500 misdemeanor ticket. So for cartels, it's like, well, this is awesome because you only get a $500 misdemeanor ticket, so it's not a felony charge, and the water that they're stealing, they don't have to pay for it because they're stealing it from ranchers and farmers. The migrants who are working these marijuana operations are not actual like workers, right? Like 9 to 5, and they're on the books. Yeah. These are migrants that are being forced to work on these grows for their freedom. So essentially, you're seeing slavery on American soil. So last year, Chad, when I came on your show, we talked about this same issue, but in Southern California, in the desert communities, it's becoming a new wave. But this time in this new documentary, Narcofornia, we went to the root, which was Northern California. In Northern California, we were in Siskiyou and Lassen County, but just in Siskiyou County, just for perspective, LA County has over 500 illegal marijuana grows. San Bernardino County has about 1,100 illegal marijuana grows. These are controlled by Mexican Chinese cartels. In Northern California, just one county in Siskiyou, they have between 7,000 to 10,000 grows. Those are mainly operated by Asian criminal gangs and cartels. And you're seeing these kind of rural communities out there, like ranchers and farmers, people who really work hard just for an honest living, are seeing basically their way of life threatened by the violence, the water theft, and they're basically being pushed out by these cartels. And law enforcement just doesn't have the funding to even fight back because, we're talking about small rural communities. I was in a town called Doris, California, which is like basically right next to Oregon. The town has like barely over 1,000 people, and there's 1,300 illegal grow operations in their town.
Wow.
So the cartels really operate and control everything. And we were interviewing one rancher in Lassen County, and Lassen County, for perspective, is as big as Rhode Island, this one county. And this rancher's telling us that he has these cartel guys basically siphoning water every single day, stealing water. So he calls his local law enforcement to come help him. And the sheriff goes, I only got 2 sheriff deputies for the whole county. I'm not sending any of my guys to take on armed cartel growers. So it's a huge underlying issue. The reason why we're also focused on this is because now we're seeing Governor Gavin Newsom, because this is all happening under Newsom. We're seeing Governor Gavin Newsom now set his eyes on the White House. I believe from everyone that I've been speaking, political analysts and the stuff that I've been reading, I think Gavin Newsom 2024 is going to be the Democratic Party front runner. They're going to put him in place to run against either DeSantis or Trump.
I agree with that. I was on vacation last week, sitting there on the beaches in Cabo, and I met this couple, and every day they just kind of sat next to me on the beach there, and they were from Palm Springs. And so I made you always kind of feel people out, see where they're at,
right.
check them, and I don't want to get into politics. We're on vacation, whatever. But I said, so what do you think about you guys' governor over there? You think he's going to make a run for the White House? Oh no, I haven't heard anything like that. So the more people I talk to, I ask them, and I don't think they're even aware of the political machinations that are going on. Mm-hmm. But I see it. I mean, I said, well, he was at the White House last week meeting with Jill, and they were like, was he really? And I was like,
and Biden wasn't there. I mean,
and Biden was gone. He was in Saudi Arabia.
Newsom was there, measuring the drapes and filling it out. Saying, I like this chair here.
Checking out the bed, bouncing on it like at a Mattress Plus store or something like that. Just saying, I kind of like this.
I kind of like this office here, Biden.
It's so, I look at this stuff, and there's like no reason for the same reason we talk about Nancy being in Taiwan or even in Asia. You look at Gavin Newsom, and you're like, there's no reason for this guy to be in Washington, D.C., visiting the White House.
The issue here, Chad, is that the corrupt California politicians are so comfortable. They have no challengers. Dude, Gavin Newsom is sitting on a war chest of money, like $200 million, with no competition to run for governor. The guy's bored.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi hasn't even visited her district in over 30 years.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to step in and continues to win and continues to get richer. So in California, these corrupt politicians have absolutely made it. They've destroyed the middle class. I mean, if you go to California right now, it's becoming what I call the Latin America economy, where it's just the very top and the very poor, and everyone in the middle is basically just fighting for the scraps. The average cost of home in California is $800,000.
Yeah.
My parents are working class people. My dad's a trucker. My mom's a food kitchen worker at UCLA. My dad just put his house for sale, and he's moving to Houston, Texas. It's just becoming unlivable for regular people. And on top of that, we have cartels just, like I said, just running wild, destroying everything. It's just kind of like I said, it's a huge issue that I think people need to pay attention to, and even people who live in California don't even know how openly these cartels are operating. So highly just recommend anyone to watch it. It's at narcofornia.com. It's like I said, you'll become highly educated on it, informed on the topic. It's like I said, it's not against weed, it's not reefer madness, but it's just showing you what cartels do in the black market and kind of the destruction they cause in local communities.
And I know that the immediate pushback, because I do a lot of shows in California every year, or historically I have. Normally I'm out there 16, 17 times a year for a live show. And people say, why do you go to California? I'm like, if you've never been to California, you got a misinterpretation of what California is all about. It's a great place. Beautiful landscape, beautiful weather, some really good people out there, great ranching, great farming, great agriculture, great economy, great resources, great GDP, getting screwed by bureaucracy. And now we're seeing, you get up in Northern California, which is where you tend to think some of the normalcy and the sanity is out of the big cities. But that place is so expansive out there. Like you said, you got one county that's the size of Rhode Island. You could drive for a long time and not see another person. And so it's easy for these cartels and these Asian cartels and stuff like that to come in and do what they're doing. So it affects all of us in terms of what's going on there, because that, again, it trickles over. And we're seeing that here in Texas, where people always say, don't California my Texas. It's coming here. So what's happening there is in many ways a precursor to what can happen anywhere. So, I encourage people, you got to get Narcofornia. You got to watch this thing.
And the scary part too, Chad, I was speaking to a farmer, and I was like, do you think with these issues of, the water and everything, could this actually threaten the food supply? And he says, oh, absolutely. He's like, so much food comes from the California farmers. He says, I think eventually it can. And for people who don't live in California, like California is like almost like two different countries. Like you have Southern California, which is more obviously like the liberal, the big cities, LA and stuff like that. But you go to Northern California, it's like regular Americans, like actual
100%.
like ranchers and farmers, and they almost despise Southern California. Like we were in one county, like I said, Lassen County, they voted over 80% in favor of the recall against Gavin Newsom. I mean, so it's that type of feel up there in Northern California.
It's true. All right, we're gonna talk about this some more. I don't know about you guys. You know, I talk about I'm in this constant battle with the whole, losing the belly and all that stuff. The older I get, the harder it is for that to do that. And but here's the problem. If you can't control like your cravings and all of that stuff throughout the day, you're wanting the salty or the sweet and all the treats that are always readily available and it's always within reach. You got that temptation. You got the southern barbecues that are happening all over Texas. I'm going to tell you about a new weight control formula from Nusu Labs. Uses biohacking technology to curb your appetite and control those unwanted cravings. It's formulated with natural ingredients and antioxidants. This new weight control formula is going to maximize a healthy metabolism, keeps you away from all those empty calories safely, naturally, and without any harmful side effects and restrictive diet supplements. It really does work. This is a one-of-a-kind formula. It's got mood-enhancing ingredients in dark chocolate, the same stuff that's in dark chocolate to keep you from getting all that hangry feeling, Nusu guarantees you're going to lose up to 3 pounds in the first week. It's guaranteed or they'll give you your money back. So right now, get a free bottle with your order at Nusu Labs. That's NUSULabs.com/Chad. Join Nusu's world-class concierge program for an extra 10% off at checkout. Free month supply, free priority shipping. NUSULabs.com/Chad. That's NUSULabs.com/Chad. We'll be right back. All right, we're sitting here with our good buddy Jorge Ventura. His new documentary is called Narcofornia. I don't want to take anything for granted, so I'm going to spell it NARCOFORNIA. You can get it at narcofornia.com. We got a clip, a trailer, a little teaser. We're going to show it to you. Play it.
You have to understand our frustration that we have been going through this for years. Did you know that one of our citizens got attacked on her property walking her dog by one of the pot growers' dogs? So when a stray bullet comes and hits one of my children or me, I swear to God, on a stack of Bibles, I will go out and I will.
Yeah, you can take marijuana, you can take water regulation, let's go down the line.
We have no allies in the state government.
Is there a rough estimate of how many cartel members are here right now?
Conservative estimate, 10,000.
10,000
Yeah,
people?
I'd say conservative estimate.
Just California?
Just in California.
These are organized crime groups, highly structured, well-funded, very aggressive, well-armed, in our forest all over California.
They interviewed one of our sheriff deputies, head rats, and he just said, we don't have enough resources to stop them if they ever come here. And then, bam, they were here.
All of a sudden, you had 1,000 people show up who wanted to vote, who all came from out of the area, who all just happened to be growing illegal marijuana. It's kind of like, well...
And it blew up.
As the enforcement started to dwindle, they rapidly increased.
I want some sort of acknowledgement that it's a problem. I have yet to even hear that.
They are racist.
Who?
The communists.
Huh. They're racist. They're racist. Yeah, God forbid. What? How do you find these people?
It's just, doing lots of research, and, I'm really blessed that when we put out stories, people reach out and want to share even more. So when we put out Cartelville, USA last year, this community in Northern California said, Jorge, if you think it's bad in Southern California, you got to come up here and see what's going on. And I was absolutely shocked. What's interesting, Chad, about Northern California is, the Mexicans and Chinese that are in Southern California, obviously they're cartels and they're committing crimes, but they're not looking to register to vote.
Yeah.
But in Northern California, we're seeing this kind of Hmong group come in, getting involved in these illegal marijuana operations, and actually registering to vote and looking like they want to play a role in the local politics, which a lot of folks are really scared about. But like I said, the way of life has completely changed for just regular Americans, working class, ranchers, farmers, people that are literally growing food and producing for us. And They feel like no one's looking out for them. The state isn't looking out for them. Gavin Newsom, Sacramento, isn't answering their calls. If they call local law enforcement doesn't even have the manpower to take these guys on. So they really don't know what to do. It's it's actually really heartbreaking when you hear their stories.
And they don't play by the same rules as law enforcement does.
Oh no,
so to speak. So it's a dangerous situation. I mean, this is mind blowing that this is happening in the way that it is.
Yeah, and when I speak to the people out there, they feel at this point you need Washington D.C. and like the federal government to like send a National Guard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll ever happen, but like I said, California right now has been taken over, and the legal weed business is about to set to collapse in California. So even if you speak to like legal weed owners and dispensaries, they hate the black market because it's basically destroyed them. A couple years ago, if you're in the legal weed business, if you sold a pound of weed, which goes about $1,200, California will then tax you about $150 on that pound, which those guys can make a living off. That's not bad. Fast forward to today, because of the black market, how saturated, you sell a pound now for $300. The state of California still tax you $150. So these guys are actually losing money almost on selling their products. So the legal weed business is set to collapse, and I don't think a lot of people even know about this.
Yeah, I mean, I truly don't at this point know why anybody chooses to live in California. I really don't.
It's still great weather.
I mean, it again. I run into people every now and then. Again, I ran into another group of folks from California last week. They said, "Oh, that's my home. I'd never consider leaving it. To me, that is my world. That's the center of the universe." I'm like, what bag of dollar bills are you rolling in to be able to be able to live and still brag about this place where you live? It's fascinating to me. So,
But like you said, Chad, Texas has become my second home as of late. I've been spending a lot of time here. Really like the community down in like South Texas, McAllen, and those areas. So I'm starting to like it down here.
Jorge Ventura, future Texas resident. I see the handwriting on the wall. I'm okay with it. I think you should be here anyway. You fit right in.
Give me a nice little cowboy hat, Chad.
Yeah, you need to. Oh boy, you can't handle all the ass you'll get with this thing on your head, dude. You don't want this smoke, bro. I'm telling you. They sling it at me. I mean, they sling it at me, dude. I'm like, do you want to smell my finger right now? You want to know the black market's value? Never mind.
Yeah. Never mind.
Let's talk street values, bro. No, you need to come to Texas. You need to just jump in here, and you might as well get here anyway, dude. There's nothing left over there. You've been down the border.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're constantly down there and stuff. You mentioned McAllen. I ran into. I spoke at the Texas Sheriff's Association right before I went on vacation here in Fort Worth. So sheriffs from all over the state were there. My good friend Joe Frank Martinez, who's the sheriff down in Valverde County, he was there, came up, said hello. We took a picture together. I love that guy. He's a Democrat, but he's a common sense guy. I asked him, I said, how are things going in your county? He goes, what I'm dealing with is being handled. I said, well, man, from what I see on the news, it ain't, not putting it on him.
Right.
Because I know how much he loves his community, how hard he works to keep that under control in the way it is. But, boy, it's crazy to me how silent things have gotten in regards to this when I know it's worse than ever. What are you seeing?
I mean, it's been complete chaos. The past 2 months, we've been going probably the heaviest we've gone in the past year and a half in border coverage. So we went from Yuma to Del Rio, Eagle Pass, McAllen. We've been hitting all over, and it's been, I would say, crazier than ever, especially the Eagle Pass area. So in July, the first 7 days saw 13,000 illegal crossings.
7 days.
Yeah. So
13,000.
So we went down there. I went down there with my team and with my cameraman, Thomas Cooper. We went embedded with some of these groups from Monterey and followed them from Monterey, Mexico to Piedras Negras into Eagle Pass. We're talking about massive groups crossing in. We're going in the water with them, and we're just documenting. We're seeing how the human smugglers work. We're also seeing how the Mexican officials work, because the Mexican officials are allowing these migrants to cross illegally all day. Governor Greg Abbott in April set up, he signed 4 agreements with 4 Mexican state governors. And he said, you guys have to stop the flow of illegal crossings, or I'm going to put in 100% vehicle inspection from Texas DPS on any vehicle that comes through that port of entry. So for Mexican governors, they don't want that, because it creates this huge traffic on their port of entries. So they signed the agreement, and in his face they say, oh yeah, we'll do it. But then when we're on the ground, we're literally watching Mexican police and these officials let migrants cross illegally all day. So anytime I see Governor Greg Abbott, we've pressed him multiple times and said, hey, Governor, you've been touting this as a success to your voters, yet we're in Mexico and we're crossing with the groups. So literally, these Mexican governors are not obeying your agreement. What are you going to do? So according to him, he said he's going to put some pressure, but that was back in May. He hasn't done that yet. But it's been a complete. It's just chaos. I mean, these little towns and down there in South Texas, they don't have the resources to deal with this stuff. And then now you have New York City mayor and Washington D.C. mayor complaining about the migrants being bused over there. Those are major cities. Could you imagine? They're already complaining in 60 days. These communities in South Texas have been doing that for a whole year and a half. Yeah,
they're overrun.
And while this is happening, Chad, is then we're having all the fentanyl that continues to come in the country. So it's been a complete disaster at the border.
Yeah, and that somebody asked me the other day, they said, why would the fentanyl? Why would the fentanyl? I said, why do you think? They said, well, I don't understand. Why are they putting fentanyl? I said, because they're trying to kill people. I mean, bottom line, I mean, these are not good people. That, and you talk about Abbott, and I hate bitching about Abbott, but you have to, because the guy sends out a letter or he says a certain thing, but there's never any real follow-up on the deal. But he invited sanctuary city mayors to see border crisis up close and personal, and there's already been some that have rejected the offer. Like he extended Eric Adams in New York and Muriel Bowser in D.C., as you mentioned. He invited both of them, and he said, I invite you to our border region to see firsthand the dire situation that only grows more urgent with each passing day, to meet with local officials who, like yourselves, realize this matter deserves immediate federal action. I also ask you to join me in requesting President Biden secure the border and put an end to this disastrous crisis.
If we had grown-ups in politics, this is a beautiful moment. This is a beautiful moment where Democrats and Republicans can say, hey, let's work together because our cities are being affected because we're being overrun, and obviously the border towns are being affected. Let's work together and create policy. But we don't have grown-ups in politics, and it's just going to be theatrics, and it's going to be a complete mess. Mayor Bowser has already called in National Guard. It's like, well, what do you think Eagle Pass and Del Rio, what do you think they're going through?
And then you have Eric Adams in New York. He's already rejected the offer. And here's what he said. He said, instead of a photo op at the border, we hope Governor Abbott will focus his energy and resources on providing support and resources to asylum seekers in Texas, as we have been hard at work doing in New York City.
That should be directed at Biden.
Yeah.
It's a complete joke.
So, I mean, these guys have no clue. I mean, again, when you get into the logistics of the whole thing and you have no idea what's actually going on, you're not willing to come down here and take a look at it. It's BS, dude. I mean,
we've already had, under Biden and Harris, over 3 million illegal crossings. We're at 500,000 gotaways. That's a scary number. The gotaways are those males who don't want to be caught because they've already committed some type of criminal case here in the United States, and it's been a complete mess. We've had like over 50 migrants who were on the terrorist watch list crossover through our southern border. So it's been a disaster. When we're in Yuma, we're meeting migrants from Belarus, India, Russia, Afghanistan, Pakistan. So all over the world is crossing. So when, I don't want people to think that, it's just Salvadorans, Hondurans, and Guatemalans. No, it's all over the world is crossing our border. It's because to them it's completely wide open. They have no respect for it. You speak to Border Patrol, their morale is as low as ever. That's who you really feel bad for, because these guys are like, I'm not even a Border Patrol agent. I'm just an Uber driver.
Yeah, what's the point? Yeah, well, they're just a federalized Uber driver. All right, Minutemen Coffee, I love them. They got an incredible stance, and they love this country. They're one of the fastest growing coffee companies in the nation, and the economy right now, it sucks. Everything's going through the roof, fuel, food, everything. Minutemen Coffee has not raised their prices on their full pound of their amazing single origin blended coffee. It's crazy. They could have done it, but they haven't done it. They partnered with Share Life Vacations to offer you a 3-month prepaid coffee subscription with free shipping for only $95, and you get 2 full pounds of amazing coffee delivered to your door for 3 months. And Minutemen Coffee is going to send you a $100 hotel voucher good at over 700,000 locations. You just get to use it. So $95 get you 3 months of coffee, $100 towards a hotel. Hard to beat that. So go find out for yourself at MinutemenCoffee.com. And if you want to save 15% and not do that deal, just use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad on your first order. Sign up for your 3-month coffee subscription. Get $100 towards a hotel stay. MinutemenCoffee.com. That's MinutemenCoffee.com. Promo code Chad. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's that time of the show when you know what we do. We wax eloquent, or at least we attempt to. I'm going to ask you to get a little hot and heavy with your imaginations with me for just a second. I want you to picture in your mind a Beyonce music video. You can cater to the specifics of the background and wardrobe as you see fit, but let us Neither mince words or engage in the logical fallacy that the queen of pop is wearing anything more than is legally required, okay? You get where I'm going? In this landscape of the mind, those curves are trying harder to escape than Jeffrey Epstein on Clinton Visitation Day. All right, you got the image firmly planted in your mind. I mean firmly planted in your mind. As she's on the screen dancing and singing, all of a sudden a dude with cerebral palsy walks into the frame and immediately starts slapping that ass. Oh, yeah, maybe with his good hand, maybe with the one that looks like God forgot to put a bowling ball there. It doesn't really matter. Who knows? He's smacking that ass. Now, as goofy as that sounds, and you've got to admit it sounds kind of goofy, it follows logically from what I'm about to tell you that the left must think this is what Beyonce means when she sings the line, spazzing on that ass, spaz on that ass. Now, most of you have never heard that lyric, but that's what she says. But she said it, and she got called the hell out on it for using an ableist slur. So a lot of folks don't even know what an ableist is, but here we go. They've now decided to remove the lyric and replace it with a different word, because why not? You'll recall that not all that long ago on this program, we covered a similar incident with Lizzo. God bless that human. Another singer whose curves are trying to escape orbit. Now, I'm not here to debate with you the well-nigh Shakespearean quality of the lyrics. Soft what light through yonder window breaks, 'tis but the shadow of a dude spazzing on his hoe's ass. I think Shakespeare said something like that one time in one of his tragedies. Anyway, I just want to say something to any of the liberals who watered the soil of Twitter with their tears of sorrow in the wake of this song coming out. And I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening to me when I say spaz, 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 spaz. I hope you're pissed off. I hope your blood is boiling. Are you filled with the sort of righteous indignation that calls for you to pick up your sword and fight for the just and true cause of whatever the hell happens to be the flavor of the day issue? I'm going to say it again just to piss you off. Spaz! Now, you and I, and just about everybody whose brains haven't turned to ice cream at this point, knows that when you call someone a spaz, you're not indicating that they have spastic cerebral palsy. You know how I know that? Because I actually know people with cerebral palsy. That's right. And they might have a problem with the muscles in their arm, but they sure as shit don't have the same stick up their ass that leftist social justice warriors do. And yet one of the richest and most powerful musicians in the world is bowing before the angry mob, the loud minority, the statistical non-entity, the subcategory of all subcategories, and doing what they demand, no doubt, lest she be canceled in some form or fashion. Folks, the surface level of the problem here is that you can't say anything funny anymore. You know what? You get woke, you can't joke. You can't do it, folks. It runs deeper. It runs deeper than just that, though. Slowly, year by year, we're culling away more and more of the herd of colorful linguistic tools we humans possess to express ourselves. Words get canceled. Words become unsayable. Words are ascribed magical powers which they simply do not possess, and they're banned forthwith from the lexicon or are just redefined altogether so that they can be even made worse in terms of their meaning. Now, that should scare you on some level. I've been saying this for 25 years. Change the language, change the culture, change society. Look, not because it's all of a sudden not cool to say spaz, 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 but because, as we've said a million times on this program, words are the highway that exists between my brain and your brain. If you limit my words, you limit my thought, and I've got enough things, doing that already. So God bless you, spazzes. Bunch of spazzes. Spazzing on that ass. Spazzing on that ass.
Which, Chad, to your point of her
Get retarded in my department? What?
To the point of her being one of the richest, singers, she has 28 Grammys.
Yeah.
28 Grammys,
yeah.
And yet spaz erases that. So
this to me is on par with the climate cultists going after Taylor Swift for having 170 trips on her private jet this year, and Taylor Swift having the audacity of going, "It wasn't just me, I loaned my plane out." You know what you do? You give them the middle finger and say, "I drive that motherfucker to McDonald's." You know what? It's my fucking jet. If I want to take it to the QT, get me a breakfast pizza and fill up on jet fuel, that's where I'm flying that bastard. That's what I'm doing. I loaned my jet out.
Yeah, own it.
Well, Chad, if you think about
get unapologetic.
If you think about it, it's a $50 million jet. It's like $50,000 just to keep it parked up. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think about my my ozone breakage points. I'm going to kill the earth. I just spent $15 million in a jet. I'm going to use it.
Dude, if I had a jet, I would be motivated to destroy the environment.
Let me tell you something. You know, so I got friends of mine who are down at Orange Beach, Alabama right now. They're headed down that way. And they've been begging me. They're like, dude, and I got a show in Lubbock on Friday night, which you need to come to. I got 2 shows Friday night in Lubbock. And I'm like, you know, I've been sitting there looking at, like, prices of flight. Like, I could fly down one way, $400, turn around, fly to Lubbock for $400. I'm like, do I want to spend $800 for a day and a half at the beach down there getting, you know, ripped up and tore up at the Alabama Slamma or whatever, you know, down there? And I'm like, if I had a private jet,
oh man,
let's go. We'd all be going. We'd all be going. You know what we'd do? When we got down to Orange Beach, we'd circle that bastard for about an hour getting drunk and burning up some ozone layer. That's what we would do. Singing Taylor Swift songs. You know what, climate cultists? We are never, ever, ever getting back together. Period. I'd be spazzing that ass. Do you know what I would do to Taylor Swift's ass? I would pretend to be crippled, just so I could whoop that ass like this. Huh, huh. This is a new joke. This is a new dance, dude. Wasn't there a dance where they did this? Some Michael Jackson bullshit?
Thriller.
This is Thriller. No. Come here, Taylor. You know what else she's got a lot of? STDs. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just saying.
Chad, stop acting like that stopped you. That wouldn't stop you.
It wouldn't stop me.
Stop trying to act like you have a moral compass all of a sudden.
Already got monkeypox. I'd pop a zit right on her. Never mind.
Yeah.
By the way, Chad, this entire segment, you were able to piss off the
Everybody.
Lizzo people, the Beyonce people, the spaz people, and now the Taylor Swift people.
The spaz
Who's
people.
next?
I love how Beyonce she can't say spaz, but she could say the N-word on her
exactly.
songs. Like,
you can end it up.
Like, oh no, that one crosses the line.
Yeah, you can end it up.
Yeah, you can. But it's spaz. It draws the line.
Good point.
It draws the line.
That's such a good point. Oh my God! What happened to the good old days of wardrobe malfunction? I just want to see a titty pop out at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was good.
My God, nobody was offended by that.
That's America to me.
Come on.
A titty in a Super Bowl, that's America. And we've lost our way.
Oh, my God. I'd take a knee for that bitch. Hey, Blaze's Patriotic socks packs are back. At the end of last year, we released a limited supply of Let's Go Brandon socks. Everybody loved them. Everybody wanted them. They sold out real fast. They're comfortable. They work. Hey, guys, you can wear them with your boots, too, although people can't see them so good. But they do. They're long socks. They pull all the way up. And that matters to me. You asked for them. They're back by popular demand. We got a limited edition pile of these things with a lot of different designs just in time for the election primaries and back to school. Piss off your liberal teachers that are trying to groom your children. You could get there are 2 sock packages to choose from, and you also got those drink covers that are really cool. If you can't decide which one, this is America. You can get them both, folks. And if you buy both sock packages, we're going to throw in a free bonus set of not only socks, but an additional set of drink covers with a discount off the full purchase. Christmas is here, folks. Might as well go shopping. Hurry up. Limited edition. They're going to be, when they're gone, they're gone. BlazeSocks.com. For you Blaze TV subscribers, we're going to thank you for your continued support. We're going to sweeten the pot. Use promo code BlazeSub for 20% off your purchase. You got to use the email that you use to log into your Blaze TV subscription account in order to get the discount. But do it, okay? And if you're not a subscriber, you know what to do. Go to subscribe to Blaze TV. Use promo code ChadSocks and save on your Blaze subscription. You get 20% off the limited edition socks. We'll be right back. There it is. There it is right there. Yeah, come on.
Nice and pretty.
All right. Thank you.
Look at that.
Thank you, girl. That's the cowboy way right there. Thank you, girl. I mean, you know, better late than never. Get that flash on. Anyway, let's see. Did you see a couple of things? Did you see the? And I want to wait on this because we're going to talk about it, I think, on our Friday, Good News Friday, or Feel Good Friday, whatever we call it. about the guy who shot the guy who came in with the AR-15, was going to hold up the
from Norco, Cali, baby.
Let's Cali, go. And the dude shot him with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Interesting story.
And Norco's a cowboy country. So I mean, you got to know people are armed.
They're strapped, yeah.
Yeah, they're strapped.
But I mean, that guy was like 80 years old that was working behind the counter, and then the guy runs out screaming, he shot my arm off.
And it was funny because they're driving down, they're still about to leave one of them behind.
Dude's still like, let me in the car. He's locked out. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, man. You keep playing that game, you're going to get in trouble. But then there was a sad deal. Like there was a lemonade stand. Did you see this clip where the kids are out there selling lemonade? Play it.
Yeah.
In surveillance video provided by a neighbor, you can see two males approach Jude Peterson and his friends as they sell lemonade just before 5 Friday evening. The male in the dark hoodie, who has been described as a teenager, moves fast, displaying what looks to be a firearm, then quickly snatching the cash box, running off with $30. Nathan, Jude's father, said it was terrifying at first, but what really moved him is how his neighbors responded.
Let's just do the 30. Let's just do the purge. Let's just do that. Let's start that. Let's just start that deal and play it.
Really mad and pull me down.
Already on the ground, Mrs. Wren is kicked squarely in the face.
They used the fist to hit my head multiple times, and then they pull me down to the ground and kept hitting me, kicking me.
The horror doesn't end there. When Mrs. Wren tries to hide in the hallway and is unable to close the door, the suspects return again.
Jeez.
Not to steal her watch or earrings, but her keys, and to take turns assaulting the terrified senior.
You know, the manhood in me gets pretty riled up when I see shit like that. I saw another video that somebody posted. You know, I follow all these other accounts, talk about Instagram, which are all about situational awareness and what are you going to do in these situations. You know, Byron Rogers has a great page on that. You know, what would you do in this situation? Man, I saw one where this lady was working in like a FedEx or a UPS store or whatever. The guy came in and just beat the hell out of this lady, stomping her head and the whole thing. And it's like, you know, we've gotten into a world where you just better be armed wherever you go. I mean, you better be armed. If you don't live in a place where you can be armed, you need to get out of that place. Let them have it. Let the animals overrun it. And it is always the same characters. It's the same cast of characters that are out there doing the same BS. You won't say, "Oh, that's racist," or what? I don't care. I really don't care what you say anymore. It's the same group of people. It's the same generation of fatherlessness and all these people who've just decided to be feral animals because they don't respect law enforcement, and law enforcement's not doing the job to enforce that. Nobody ever beat these kids' ass, and so anyway, it's bad, dude.
It's horrible, but you know, these attacks happen on the Asian Americans in San Francisco. I follow a few Twitter accounts who follow it, and it's that community that really led the recall against their DA, and you're seeing that community wake up, and I think it's truly fascinating. If anyone hasn't been paying attention to San Francisco politics, look at what happened. The Asian community not only led the recall, but two out of every 3 Asian people living in San Francisco even voted Democrat. But you're starting to see them starting to change. They already had a recall with a school board member. Now they had the recall with their DA. So something's happened there. It's changing with the Asian community. Maybe this is what it takes, but it's happened in New York City. There's always those viral videos of them, you know, older Asian people getting attacked at subways, just getting beat and being left there. Like no one even helps out.
Nobody.
People just film and just kind of, you know, let them be. And it's like, man, it's real sadness to see that happen in our country.
But then I get the people who are going to come on my Twitter and troll me and say these things about, oh, stop the Asian hate or stop the bigotry and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, why don't you call out the actual perpetrators who are doing this stuff? You know, because like you said, in places like San Francisco, it's become a trend. Like it's an acceptable form of practice to be able to do these kind of things. Oh, sad deal. And at some point in time, people are just going to have to fight back. And more of these little, like the convenience store where the guy just pops up his shotgun and bold move for that 80-year-old man, too. I mean, the guy had him dead to rights with an AR-15, and he just popped him with a 12 gauge. So, shot my arm off.
And we also just had the recent situation with the New York City bodega worker. I mean, having to defend himself, and it's like,
yeah, he gets charged with murder.
In some of these areas, you know, people are scared to defend themselves because they don't know what way the DA is going to go. Yeah. Even in our documentary in Northern California, residents were questioning their DA. They said, "Hey, if I shoot this cartel guy, like, am I going to get charged for murder?" And yeah, just that's where we are in our country, and it's I mean, there's third world countries, major cities that are much safer than our New York City, Philadelphia, then Detroit. Now here in the U.S.
I mean, people's got to be aware. We'll double up on TikToks tomorrow, Chris. We'll double up on it because tomorrow's going to be the Antichrist episode. It's episode 666, and who knows what's going to happen? We're going to get off the rails. You going to hang around?
I want to hang around.
I want you to hang around. I want Jorge to do overtime with me this week. I want to get a recap of the Uvalde shooting down there because you were on the scene down there for that. I want to get caught back up on that. A lot of stuff we're going to talk about in overtime. If you're not a member of Blaze, that's the only place you can get it. Go to blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad to sign up. Before we go to another break, I do want to remind everybody I'm in Lubbock, Texas. Go to watchchad.com. We got numerous shows coming up, and we're bouncing around all over the country. So watchchad.com is where all the fun stuff is. Check out the full schedule. Hey, when I'm traveling, I'm typically listening to audiobooks or podcasts, and there's one of the things that I love to do is I get on the airplane and I put in my Raycon wireless earbuds, and they're comfortable. They look great. They feel great. They sound better than ever. They got the optimized gel tips with the perfect in-ear fit. You like if you're moving around, you're working out, whatever, they're not going to budge. They're not going to shake out of your ears, and I've tried to do that. They're going to give you 8 hours of playtime, 32-hour battery life, and they're priced better than the others because you're going to get the quality audio at half the price of those other premium audio brands. And trust me, I've shopped and in many cases owned all of them. So it's no wonder that Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 50,000 five-star reviews. They've got 3 customizable sound profiles, and they got the earbud tap function, the noise isolation, the awareness mode. That means if you're somewhere and you want to be aware of your surroundings and not just like we were talking about, you can still hear what's going on around you, but still enjoy the audio quality that you're listening to. So make sure you go to buyraycon.com. That's RAYCon.com. buyraycon.com/watchchad. That'll get you 15% off your Raycon order. That's buyraycon.com/watchchad to score 15% off. buyraycon.com/watchchad. And we'll be right back. All right. Somebody check on Nancy Pelosi. Make sure her and her boobs are okay. And while you're doing that, head over to narcofornia.com. Check out Jorge Ventura's new documentary. You do not want to miss that. You want to tell your friends about it as well. Seriously, go check it out. You need to know this is what's happening in America. It's not just about California. This is coming to a neighborhood near you if it's not already there. So take a look at it. Thanks for the work you've done, Jorge. I want you. Tomorrow we're gonna get wild.
We'll get wild, baby.
Might even go. We'll go.
Nice little warm up, you know.
We'll go find some tequila or something. You know what I'm saying? We'll bring it on set and we'll get to ripping on it. I'm gonna be in Lubbock, Texas. 2 shows Friday night. If you want to come hang out, I'm doing a benefit at the Spice Rack where I got my start a long time ago down there in Burleson, Texas. Sunday afternoon. I'm going to bring the ragamuffins with me. Good friend of ours has got is got a bad diagnosis. We're raising some money for him. So if you're the Fort Worth area, you want to come down to Burleson, Texas, hang out with us. No charge to be there. Come party with us. We're going to have a good Sunday. Sunday fun day. Don't forget, subscribe blazetv.com/Chad. Use promo code Chad to save. And go shopping. ChadOnBlaze.com. Tomorrow is 666. Oh, boy, we're going to be there. We love you. God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye.